Welcome back to the Fenrir Husky Show. If you are new here, my name's Will. I'm a canine behaviourist and I'm the founder and CEO of FenrirCanineLeaders.com. And this channel is dedicated to helping you learn everything that you could possibly want to know about the glorious Siberian Husky and then how to become a high-level canine leader that can raise perfect Husky puppies. So if you are new here, make sure you subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you never miss a future Husky video. But with all that said and done, let's dive straight into it. And I have just had an email from one of my clients that is raising a new Siberian Husky. They've just turned a year old and they've gone through our Perfect Puppy program and had incredible amounts of success. However, the one area that they're finding challenging or difficult with is the fact that their Husky is howling so much, and in particular at night, and it's got to the point where some of their neighbours are even starting to complain. So let's dive into kind of Husky howling and what, if at all, can we do to really be able to help this Siberian Husky settle down and calm down a little bit more in the evening. So first of all, we have to start with, unfortunately, Siberian Huskies howling is a completely normal and natural behaviour, and it's one of those behaviours that I'm reluctant to give people advice to try and correct out of them, because it would be so confusing when it is such an innate, normal, natural, desired response for a Siberian Husky to do. And day to day, it's merely a communication tool. It can display a variety of different things, from excitement to wanting to play, to trying to communicate with other dogs in the local area. And normal times, maybe during the day, it can be one of the most glorious things that you can sit and observe a Siberian Husky doing. And with me and my Siberian Husky, I find it one of the best things in the world when you can actually almost get a conversation going where the dog can howl and you can howl back, and they'll wait for you to finish before giving you a howl, and you can actually end up going back and forward. Now, what people need to understand, like I say, is that that is a completely normal behaviour, and we need to try and find a way of being able to get it to kind of simmer down at night and in the evening. So I have gone back and forward with this client of mine, and we put in a behaviour modification program, which is a very simple and structured program to be able to help overcome this. And it's one of those programs that doesn't involve us trying to correct this behaviour out of the dog, because it's one of those behaviours I don't think we could very easily correct, if at all. So what I would like to do is find out the root cause of why it is that your Husky's howling, and what is it that we can do to put in place to manage the behaviour as opposed to correct it. So if you've got a Husky that's howling a lot at night in particular, my first piece of advice is to find out where it is that the Husky is sleeping and what is it that might be causing the trigger for that behaviour to happen, and then is there anything we can do to remove that trigger. Now that's a difficult thing for me to be able to help you through a video with, because that is obviously such a bespoke and individual circumstance to you. So my advice is to try and be extremely observant and find out what it is that's happening that's causing that behaviour. Now very commonly it might even be things like moonlight coming in through the window, or there being some flickering, or maybe movement happening outside if they can see into the outside world. A very easy solution to that is to add a blind or curtains. You remove that visual stimuli that is triggering the howling behaviour, and you'll very quickly find that howling might come down. Now again, there could be a million different triggers causing it. My first piece of advice, like I say, is to be extremely observant, work out what those triggers are, and then remove those triggers wherever possible. Now that might also mean that you have to put the dog in a different room from where they normally sleep at night, and that might be enough to kind of break that trigger to stop that howling behaviour from happening. So that is the kind of first piece of advice. The second piece of advice I can offer you, and it's going to be applicable for probably every behaviour challenge you could ever face with your Siberian Husky, is exercise, exercise, exercise. When it comes to Huskies, there isn't really an amount of exercise that is too much, and the more we can give them, the better. What you might find is that as the night drops and that weather starts to drop and it gets much cooler, that is where a Husky really thrives. That's where they feel most comfortable, and you might find that then kicks up a response for them wanting to work, and that howling is just an outburst of that kind of pent-up energy and that desire to get out and work. Now, with a lot of dogs, that will kind of cause a flip response when the weather starts to drop. That's kind of like how it does for us. It signals it's time to probably unwind a little bit and start to relax. Like I say, with a Husky, that could be the other way around and is triggering them to want to do more. So what might be a best case scenario is look at your exercise routine with your Siberian Husky, and wherever you have the biggest amount of exercise, see if there's possibly a way that you can put that right towards the end of the day, going late into the evening just before you go to bed. If you can do that, if you can get out for a good hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, really run your Siberian Husky, maybe even train them to utilize a treadmill is something that I've used in the past. And before bedtime, get them on a treadmill for a good hour, hour and a half while you're kind of tidying up for the day, washing your pots, maybe getting your clothes ready. You've always got to be able to observe them and ensure that you can keep them safe, but really be able to burn off that energy and hopefully be able to bring that energy level down might be enough to stop that howling behavior happening in the first place. Now, if you tried both of those things and they don't work, this is one of those circumstances where I would then recommend you getting an in-person canine behaviorist, because it would be such a bespoke behavioral intervention or bespoke behavioral modification plan that would need to be put in to work out the intricacies of what's causing this behavior for you to be able to have the level of success that is required. So like I say, first of all, try and work out what those triggers are and simply remove the triggers and add in more exercise, and if not, restructure it so that you're putting in a large amount of exercise right before bedtime. And if you combine both of those, you'll very commonly find that you'll be able to reduce that howling behavior. If that doesn't work, it means that there's something going on that's a little bit more bespoke and probably requires somebody that can come in person, be able to observe the behavior, be able to work out exactly what's going on psychologically in the Husky's mind, to then be able to give you a bespoke intervention plan that will allow you over time to be able to work on unpicking that behavior and get to a point where the Husky will be calm and quiet throughout the evening. Now, I hope that was helpful. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are new here, because we've got 2 new Siberian Husky videos coming to this channel every single week. So I can't wait to speak to you again on the next episode of the Fenrir Husky Show.